Hey guys, welcome to week 5 of my 5x5 progress, and sorry for uploading this a bit late. This was partially because I was doing a bunch of Volk Power videos, and partially because I just didn't practice that much this week. I had a bunch of exams, but they're all over now, so that's good. So this solve I have here is a 121, which is pretty good for me, but I could have gotten a lot better ones on camera if I just happened to be filming at the right time. But my PB single now is a 111, my PB average of 5 is 121, and average of 12 is 125. I feel like I'm getting a better grasp on look ahead, especially during the first 4 edges of Yao, and also I'm getting a little bit better at keeping track of which edges are where during last 4 edges. So anyway, I'll go a little bit more into detail about that later. So the interesting thing about my PB single is that my old PB single was 115, and it included 3 misslotted pairs because I was about to beat my PB by so much that I was so nervous. And I still managed to get PB because I was ahead by so much, but then it wasn't as good as it could have been. So then a few days ago, I was on track to beat it again. I ended up with a 116 because of course I just messed up a few times again, and I could have beaten the PB and I was so mad. So 2 solves later, that's when I got the 111 single. And I think I probably made a mistake in that one too, but the edge pairing was so easy that it didn't really matter. So one thing I find during edge pairing is I'm still doing a lot of unnecessary cube rotations to put pieces at the front, and that's just a bad habit. I should get used to having pieces at the back sometimes. And anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit more about edge pairing during this next segment. Alright, so for edge pairing, I'm just going to be showing Yao edge pairing, but it's really similar to reduction edge pairing. So here I have the cross already done, but I'm going to do free slice for the first 4 edges. So what I see here is I have orange, green, and orange, green here, so a pretty easy case. And of course, since it's an easy case, immediately I'm going to start looking for other things. So I see a bunch of pieces here, but I don't see any pairs of pieces. So I'm just going to look this way, and immediately I see the orange and blue. Here's the other orange and blue piece. Now, I don't know where the last one is, but we're going to look ahead a bit and see if we can find that last one. So I'm going to do these turns, and ideally you should not be looking at these pieces when you do these turns because it's quite obvious how these are going to go in and pair up. So I'm going to insert this. I don't see the piece yet. And then like that, and there it is. I think that's it. No. All right, so now the piece is over here. So that's pretty convenient. They're just already here together. So what I'm going to do is insert this one, but I'm not just going to admire the way I've inserted and had good look ahead. I'm going to keep looking around. So I see red and blue, red and blue. These are the first things that I noticed. I also see yellow and blue, but I'm just going to focus on red and blue now. So I'm going to insert this, pair them up. So then as I'm pairing them up, of course, I want to keep looking for those red and blue pieces. So I knew one of them was over here, and then one of them is this one. So I'm going to pair them up like that, and then red and blue and red and blue. So what I'm going to do is rotate so I can insert this while looking for the last one. So I'm going to insert it in for the spot. You always want to insert it, of course, onto the solved edge, but then I could do F prime U2 F, and that will get it into the right spot. But what would be better instead would be to rotate and then do R prime U2 R. That way I can look at the other pieces. So R prime U2 R, and I already see this. I don't really care anymore about the reds and blues because I already know these two are ready to go. This one just needs to be flipped. So now immediately I'm looking for my next piece, and I don't know which of these pieces are going to be good yet because I haven't looked around yet. So I'm just taking a quick peek over here. I see yellow and red. I also see yellow and orange here. So these are all good ideas for the next pair. So I'll flip this one and then attach this one and attach this one, and then I see yellow and green here. So I'm just gonna do this one next instead because I didn't see any good combination of other pieces. All right, so then attach these two and then pair them and finish it off. All right, here let's do another example of edge pairing. So here we have the orange blue and orange blue. So what I'm going to do first is I already know that I need to insert this into the bottom. So I'm looking for other pieces right away. So I see this, insert it into the bottom. Now I see a bunch of red and blue. So now what I'm going to do is pair these up, but I already see where all the next pieces are. Do I really need to look at them that much? So I don't really need to pay too much attention to them. I do need to look at their position, and I do need to insert them afterwards, but it's okay for me at this point to start looking for some other pieces as well. So at this point, I actually have a lot of time during this flip to just not really stare at these pieces because I already know where they are. Instead, I can just look at some other pieces. So here I see red and green. So during this time, I'm going to check if either of these two are the orange or green, orange and green edge. So I'm going to pair these up like this, flip, and then put it back. All right, so now I have this one and this one to insert, and I see that now I have all 3 orange and green pieces here. So what I'm going to do is just insert the edge here, and then insert this one. And meanwhile, always keeping track of my orange and green pieces. Then now I have an orange and green here, orange and green here, and orange and green here. So now I can just use this one, replace. And since I know where all of my pieces are, then now I can also just start looking for other pieces. So I see the red and green here, so I'm going to look for the last red and green piece. And I really don't think it's one of the ones in the top layer based on these ones being solved. So while inserting the last edge piece, I'm going to do a rotation because I'm going to have to do F moves anyway to insert this one to be on the top here to match. So I'm just going to do a rotation. Now I see this now, of course, but then I didn't notice it earlier, so I'm not going to do this one. All right, so looking at this side, I see the last red and green during that rotation. So what I'm going to do is pair these up at the back, then the red and green here, I'm going to insert it here so that it can pair up with this one. So what I'm going to do is just rotate again and insert this one into here. Now they're both at the bottom. So then what I can do is pair up these two over here, flip this one, and go pair it at the back. But instead, what would actually be better to avoid some more moves is to do a U2 here, then flip it so I can do U2 back, because I just noticed the centers all happen to be solved. So I don't really want to deal with taking it out again. So just go like that, flip, and then U2, and that solves this edge. So while walking through those examples, I don't feel like I actually taught that much. Instead, I'm just trying to really like nail the point that you need to look at the next thing while doing the current thing. And that is especially important for getting good times on big cubes. And it is what I'm working on most right now. Right now, I don't feel like I'm that strong in look ahead on 5x5, but I am improving. And I feel like whenever I get good times compared to whenever I get bad times, it has nothing to do with how fast I turn. I don't turn that fast on 5x5. It almost completely has to do with how much I'm pausing. So when I film my 5x5 weekly videos and watch them back, it is like painful for me to watch how much I'm pausing. And I really wish I paused less because that is the number one thing that I think would improve for me. So if you don't think you're improving and you also don't feel like you're pausing much, maybe you should film yourself and then you can notice which parts that you're pausing the most. Anyway, I hope you guys can approach your improvement the same way, just focusing mostly on look ahead, reducing pauses, and that will help you get the farthest. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.